This is my main channel where I have over 100,000 subscribers. That's why I talk about YouTube tips. Let's get into it.
Hi, you're about to see a recording from my membership called Hot Mess University that's named after my main channel, Ty's Hot Mess History, where I have 195,000 subscribers. My first client is Keisha Irvin from the Color Me Pink channel, who reached 100,000 subscribers this year and crossed $100,000 in ad revenue. And in this interview, she pretty much breaks down everything that I showed her so that she could get to that point, including opening up her analytics and showing you her actual ad revenue. You'll definitely be able to take notes from this interview and apply these things to your channel so that you can get your channel to where you want it to be. But if you're looking to accelerate that process and work with me one-on-one, then please feel free to email me or join my membership. The link will be in the description box in this video. My email address will be in the description box for this video. We can see if we're a good fit for each other, have a one-on-one call. And to be completely transparent and honest with you, Keisha is my first ever one-on-one client and student, and she's the only one who has so far reached this level of success at YouTube. I want to help some more people achieve these same milestones at YouTube that she did. So I'm looking for my next Keisha, my next Color Me Pink. And if you believe that that's you and you would like to work with me, just let me know and let's talk about it. YouTube is a doable thing. It just takes a little bit of know-how and a little bit of strategy. I hope that you enjoyed this interview, and I will have some more tips on this channel soon. Please also let me know what you would like to see on this channel. What do you want to learn about YouTube? I hope that you enjoy this interview from Hot Mess University. Do one for real. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing on this Sunday? Listen, this is a real treat, y'all. We are welcoming someone who I've been watching on YouTube for years before I started my YouTube channel. Her name is Keisha Irvin. She's a best-selling urban fiction author who just happens to have a YouTube channel that is doing really freaking well. And I'm so honored to be interviewing her today for the third time. This is my third time interviewing you. The I think the first time that I interviewed her, or maybe it was the second time I interviewed her, was because she had her movie coming out that she made off of one of her books. But anyway, today it's a YouTube thing, and she has reached 100,000 subscribers. And we are so proud to welcome Keisha Irvin from the Color Me Pink channel. How are you doing today?
Blessed and highly favored. Hi, people.
Wow, blessed and highly favored. I'm thinking about starting a restaurant. I'm gonna call it Blessed and Highly Flavored. And I want you to partner with me.
It actually is a good title, especially for the church folks.
Isn't it? I think that's actually, I should see if I can sell that motto to Chick-fil-A.
You stupid.
Oh man. Okay, y'all. So we are here, y'all, and I have some questions planned. Is there anything that you want to tell us before I start firing off some questions at you, Keisha?
Just that if they're looking for guidance that's going to really help them with their YouTube channel, that you are the person to go to, because obviously that's why I'm here, because you helped me tremendously. You have taken the time to learn so much about the business side of YouTube. And I think a lot of people don't know that that's the thing to focus on most, is the business side. Like the entertainment or whatever your product is important as well, your niche or whatever, but the business side is really where you need to hone in as well.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, I appreciate that. So, everybody take notes. All my prices for everything are about to go up because Keisha said, no, I'm just kidding. Well, that they are, but that's not why. they already were. So let me say some hellos, and then we'll get to it. So we got Michelle in the house from Spain, from España. She's over there in Mallorca, and that Michelle, Keisha, she is our septuagenarian. She's in her 70s, and she's a former Broadway star.
Oh,
And
really?
yes, black woman living her best life in Spain now, and
That's awesome.
taking care of her mother who's in her 90s. And
Wow.
yeah, and we got a mix of people here. We got Christy, who's been on YouTube for a while, and she's here with us. And now my dog is starting to talk, y'all. We got Tahira, who I believe, Tahira, where do you live? I believe it, like maybe she's visiting home in New York, but maybe home is in, I forgot what country in Africa you live, and let me know. But she's starting her YouTube channel, and she's getting some pretty good affiliate sales on her channel
Oh,
with
that's great.
an education program that she does. And we've got Lori here. Lori, I always want to call her Lori because of the way it's spelled, but she's getting ready to get her channel going. She's got some content that she's going to have edited. We got Tamika, who's here and off to a really good start on her channel. She's doing right now a 75 soft series, and she really knows how to connect with her audience. She's dang good at editing. Everybody wants to hire her for editing, but she's not ready for that just yet. But whenever, if ever she is, she has my stamp of approval to put an offer in here for you all to use her services because she is good. Um,
I'm looking for an editor.
oh, are you? Okay.
Mhm.
Tamika, there's some money to be made. I'm just just saying. And we can talk about that too, Keisha. And Donica is here, and she has crossed her first 100 subscribers. She has a
Congrats.
pastry business in the Houston area, and she does pastry decorating on her channel. And yeah, she's off to a really good start.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
we've got Arlethea here who has a sewing channel and she's crossed 1,000 subscribers. She's
Congrats.
working on her watch time and she's getting that going. Getting she's tightening up those thumbnails. I see. I did take a look at your channel yesterday, Arlethea. The thumbnails are looking better, less cluttered. But I still say there are a few of the newer ones that have the like cursive handwriting. Switch that to a um, bold,
Mhm.
just plain font that's going to be easier to read at a glance. Let's see here. Did I say hello to everybody who's here? Lori is here, and Lori and I have just worked out a very interesting deal. Lori, if you want to share, you can share, but it's a new offer that I came up with because I was getting requests for it. And I was just like, that's a lot of work. And I don't know, that's something that I want to do. But Lori's got um, a very interesting life. Lori is retired and worked in foreign politics, like literally like speaking French for work. She went to school, like, you know, like was one of the people, she's in her 60s and, you know, like went into when schools were being integrated, you know, and has lived a really fabulous life doing some of everything still. And Arlen Hamilton just put out an amazing documentary about Lori on her channel. And so if y'all haven't checked that out, it is worth seeing. The assignment. And I'm be working on doing some things with that content and some of the content that didn't make it onto Arlen's channel. I can say that much. If Lori wants to say more, I'm sorry. Yeah, if Lori wants to say more, then she can. So we got Lori and Lori. We got two Loris. It just occurred to me after I said. So I'm like, wait, no, not Lori. Like, no, yeah, Lori. Lori. Okay. So if I didn't say hello to you, just shout out there, Senegal. I knew it was an S, Senegal. Thank you, Michelle. That's where Tahira. She's in Senegal. Okay. So yeah, we have a wide range of people, but nobody here who is, you know, verified and with 100,000 subscribers and has a shiny new play button plaque to show off.
Oh,
By the
hush.
way, uh, can we see the hardware?
You sure can. I just got it last week. Here she is.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I call moving and grooving and doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. I love it for you, Keisha. I'm so
Thank
glad.
you.
I'm so glad that it came. You got your verification check mark yet?
No,
Okay. Have you applied for it?
no, I didn't know. So I'm
I'll
still
send you the link.
learning.
I will send you the link. I have the 100K packet ready to go.
Right.
Okay.
See, I'm still learning stuff, y'all.
Listen, it's all good. You're qualified for it. You'll get it. And we'll make sure. We'll make sure of that. All
Yes.
right. So I want to get into the questions that I have for you, Keisha.
Okay.
I want to know what inspired you or made you start your YouTube channel to begin with.
YouTube is something that I had always wanted to do. I was just afraid to do it for whatever reason. I guess it was for me, I think it was just timing. It wasn't the right time for me. I've been an avid YouTube watcher since its early conceptions, and YouTube is actually what I learned to do makeup, where I learned to do makeup or whatever. I was watching channels like Beat Face Honey, Desi Perkins, a lot of those girls from the mid 2000s, and I would sit up every night and watch their tutorials and teach myself how to do makeup. And then that translated into me doing other people makeups. I started doing weddings and all of that type of stuff because people, liked the way I did my makeup. And then in 2012, I got sick. I had diverticulitis and I had to have emergency surgery done on my stomach because I developed a polyp on my intestine that popped. And so the doctors was like, literally, if you didn't get in here when you did, you could have died because, my waste would have started going into my stomach. So they had to do emergency surgery on me. At this time, I was 31 or 32 years old, and I was a successful author, had been since I was 22, written numerous books, had number one bestsellers, traveling, doing everything. And at this point in my life, I was at a pivot where I was leaving the publishing company that I had been signed to. I did 4 books with them. It was Urban Books slash Kingsington Publishing. Carl Weber, if you watch any of his shows on BET, was my publisher at the time. And like I said, I was leaving that company to finally branch out on my own and become a self-published author. And right when my contract was ending and I was about to start publishing my own books is when I got sick. So after they did emergency surgery on me, I woke up from surgery and everybody was afraid to tell me that I had a colostomy bag. So I find out I got a colostomy bag. I've been cut from in between my breast all the way past my navel. And they tell me I have a colostomy bag. And I'm like, excuse you, what?
Mhm.
Because I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm the author, beauty girl. Like, what? I was in a relationship at the time that was on its last leg, and the doctors told me I'm going to have this colostomy bag for 3 to maybe 6 months, and I was devastated because I was all about vanity at the time. So it was a lot of crying, a lot of what was me, what am I gonna do? I just left this publishing company. I have a savings, but that's only gonna last but for so long because of course I wasn't in the mind state to write any books at the time because I was healing and everything. I couldn't really walk on my own. I had to get help with bathing myself. My boyfriend and my son at that time would have to cook for me because I couldn't go up and down the steps. And so I was just mobile in my bed every day, laying on my back, couldn't lay on my stomach, of course, and just trying to figure out what I was going to do with this time that I had. And I got sick on November 17th, 2012. And it was actually February of 2013 where I was sitting down talking to my partner at the time, and I was telling him how I've always wanted to do YouTube, but I was too afraid to do it. And he was like, nah, let's go. Get up and go and get you a camcorder. So me and my best friend went to Best Buy. At this point, I was able to walk and all of that stuff. And so we went to Best Buy. I got me a camcorder, the kind that you literally had to put your hand in
Yeah.
and do this. And so I learned how to use it. And at that time, I was using Windows Movie Maker to edit.
Whoa.
Yeah, take it all the way back. And I initially started my YouTube channel February 13th, 2013, you guys. And as you can see, it is 2025 and I just got my play button. And it's a reason why, because I
Mhm.
didn't know the business side of it until 3 years ago. But we'll get into that. But I initially started my channel doing makeup tutorials. And I started off with about 500 subscribers from my, books and from social media, because at that time Instagram had just started to be what it is. And I started with about 500 subscribers doing makeup tutorials, and it was getting me, views or whatever. But it wasn't until I started to do reviews on reality television that really got my channel to where it is now. But I feel like we'll get to how you can pivot, and pivoting, can help your channel. But that's how my YouTube channel started.
That is fascinating. I'm going to ask you a question, then I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to turn my attention to something. Unless Lori Cooper, are you here? Because I saw something asking has the stream started because she didn't see or hear anything, and I don't see any messages from her right now. So I'm just going to like DM her in school. But before I do that, like I'm still going to be on the screen.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you because you had a name before you started your YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people who are starting will be concerned that like, well, you were already a bestseller and you already had a name, so that's why you were able to grow so quickly. And I don't believe that that is the case. I know that
No.
there are some bona fide celebrities whose channel, okay, Lori's here, so we don't have to go away. There are some bona fide celebrities whose channels, our channels, are bigger than, like names who are well known. So
Mm-hmm.
will you speak to the factor that your celebrity
Yeah.
before YouTube had in what role, if any, that had in playing where your channel is now?
Really none at all. It's so funny because, like I said, once I started my YouTube channel, I had about, like I said, about 500 subscribers. And it took me so long to even get to 5,000 subscribers, because I had a fairly decent following on Instagram and Facebook at the time, and that did not translate over to my YouTube channel. And it's so funny that even still to this day, my YouTube and my book life are two totally different worlds. I didn't really integrate both of them. And I don't know if I did it on purpose or whatever, but it was like YouTube was its own thing and my books were another. I would promote my books on my YouTube channel every now and then, but not really. And still to this day, I'll get a subscriber that'll watch my channel and be like, "Oh my God, you said your name. You're Keisha Irvin?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." "Oh my
Right.
God, I love your books." Da, da, da. Like they don't even know that it's me
Yeah.
because I don't really talk about my books on my channel. So it can help certain people it won't. It just depends.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. Do you mind? Because I think that it is such an inspiring story when you talk about. I know this is not YouTube related, but I love to hear you talk about how you became an author. I think that that is
Oh.
just such a motivational thing.
I was how old was I? I was 20 years old, a single mom, didn't graduate high school because I was starting and bopping at the time. Very smart, but got caught up with boys and kicking it and all that stuff, and my grades failed and everything. And I got pregnant at the age of 17 with my son. Had him when I was 18. His father was not in the picture, and I was working retail jobs and stuff, but I always knew that people were supposed to know my name. I always knew that I was supposed to be famous. I thought it was going to be via singing. I was in girl groups when I was younger. I thought it would be from acting or becoming a fashion designer, but it didn't. It came through writing books because I've been an avid lover of reading ever since I was a little girl. My mother read books to me every night, and she was the one that started my passion for loving to read books. And growing up, I won a lot of literary awards and things of that nature. I won the Dare Medal for my essay in the 5th grade. And by the time I was in high school, books like Fly Girl by Omar Tyree came out, and Sister Soldier's book,
The
Coldest Winter
coldest winter.
Ever. Yeah,
Hmm.
those books were coming out, and at that time it was few and far between. But by the time I was 20, the urban fiction genre really started to blow up. And I was reading books by this publishing company at the time called Triple Crown Publications, and I was like, I can do this. I know how to write your own story and submit it, because they had a submission section on their website where you could submit your work, and this was without an agent or anything like that. And so I started working on my first book, and in 2020 I got like halfway through it and I got stuck. And so at that time I read the first like few paragraphs to someone that I grew up with. I considered her a best friend, and when I read her the first couple of chapters, and I said, "What you think?" And she said, "Girl, you need to put that up," and laughed. And I was like, it hurt my feelings,
Yeah.
but I'm so strong mentally that I didn't let that deter me. If I was a weaker mind person, I would have listened to her, but thankfully I didn't. But I just knew that she was wrong and that I had something really great there. But at that time, like I said, I got stuck. So a year or so went by. I didn't really work on it. And then by the time I was 22, I started back working on it. I would work on it every night when I came home from work. At the time, I was working at a grocery store here in St. Louis, Missouri called Shop and Save. And I was a cashier, and I was still living at home with my mother. And I would get off work, tend to my son, and then go downstairs in our basement where the computer was, and I would work on the book every night. And then by October of 2003, I was done with the book. I'd printed it out, the first 4 chapters, my synopsis, and my cover letter to send it off to the publishing company. And outside of that friend, nobody knew what I was doing. And I, before I mailed it off, I remember going upstairs. My mother was in the dining room, and I was like, "Mom, I wrote a book." And she said, "What?" I was like, "Mom, I wrote a book, and I'm about to send it off to this company." And she was just like, "Oh, okay, great." Like, she didn't really think much of it. She was like, "Okay, girl, all right."
Wow.
And so she didn't think like nothing would come of it or whatever. And she didn't say, "Oh, let me read it," or nothing like that. So I literally sent it off in October, and December 14th, 2003, it was night time. I was at work on the line checking people out, and my manager Ray came over and was like, "Keisha, your mom's on the phone." And I could tell he had like a worried expression on his face. So I'm thinking like something happened to my son. So he was like, "Go and see what's going on. I'll take over your line." And I was like, "Okay." And I went to the customer service desk and got on the phone. I was like, "Ma'am," and she was like, "Keisha," and I was like, "Ma'am." She was like, "Triple Crown Publication sent you a contract. They offering you a 2-book deal." And I was like, "What?" First of all, she opened my mail.
Yeah. As soon as
And
I
I
get off
was
the phone
like,
with you, I'm calling the police.
right. I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "They're offering you a 2-book deal." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I remember hanging up the phone and standing there for a brief second, looking out the doors, and it had just started to snow. And I was looking out at the night sky as it was snowing, and like, this is the day my life changed forever. And it did from there on.
I get goosebumps every time you tell that story. Like, man, that's so amazing to
It
me.
is.
But I want to talk about now, to
Mm-hmm.
bring it back to YouTube. So you told us about how your channel started, and tell us like how it evolved, because you told us like what's working for you now. How
Mm-hmm.
did you get to the point where you pivoted, and how did you
Okay.
know that you should?
Yeah, so like I said, I started off doing makeup tutorials, and the makeup tutorials was getting, at that time, decent views. I won't even say I was getting 1,000 views at that time, but I was just happy with what I was getting because it was a part-time fun thing for me. Because writing was, of course, my main job. So this was just fun for me. I hadn't gotten monetized yet. And we'll talk about that, how I messed that up.
Well, no.
No, no, I messed up. Like the first 3 years, I didn't even realize that I had the wrong email address
Oh.
under my account, and that's why I hadn't received any of my monetization money. I'm up here like, I got the subscribers. I know I got the 4,000 watch hours. Why I ain't getting no money? But we'll talk about that.
They're still verifying it and giving.
Child, but like I said, I was doing the makeup tutorials and they were doing or whatever. And on Monday nights, I would live tweet during Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And I built up such an audience every Monday. Everybody knew that at 7 o'clock I was gonna live tweet on Twitter and I would say the most craziest, funny things. And I would live tweet on Twitter and Facebook at the same time. And I was like, one day I was like, instead of me doing this, why don't I just do the reviews on YouTube? So I transferred that over to YouTube, and that following followed me over to YouTube. And that's
Nice.
when I started getting over 1,000 views and stuff like that. And I was like, I got something here. And I started to focus more on that than the makeup tutorials because the makeup tutorials just really wasn't popping like that. I couldn't find my audience or whatever. And what really made me started focusing on reviews is, remember, I started my channel February 13th, 2013,
13.
2013.
Mhm.
And I want to say it was about maybe a month in. That's when I started doing the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta reviews. And then I think I started after that incorporating Real Housewives of Atlanta reviews. But what really like put my channel on the map was in April of 2013. Mind you, I still got the colostomy bag. And it's about no, it's how many months? It was like 5 months at that time. And me and my best friend went to go see Brandy. She came here to St. Louis at the Lumiere, and it was my first time going anywhere since I had gotten sick or whatever. But I was like, I already got these tickets. I ain't missing Brandy. Come
Yeah,
on, colostomy bag. We are going.
we all going.
So I got dialed up or whatever, went to the concert, had a great time. And at the time, guess who was her makeup artist and who was there? Beat
Who?
Face Honey, the girl that I used to
I'm
follow.
watching on YouTube.
We
Yeah.
took a picture with her and everything. I was so excited. I literally came home from that concert, didn't even take off my jacket. I literally came home, sat in my chair, and turned on the camera and talked about my experience going to the Brandy concert because she's one of my favorite singers of all time. Recorded the video, put the video up the next day, didn't think anything of it, and literally by Monday the video had gone viral. It was my first viral video. Perez Hilton watched it. uh, Ginger Spice watched it. The young lady from Glee, the black girl from Glee, the little heavy set girl, Amber
Hmm.
Riley, she watched it. It was
Okay.
so many celebrities that watched it. Brandy watched it, and it just blew up, and everybody started following me on Instagram and Facebook. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, why is everybody gravitating to this video? But it was because I was being myself. I was loud, I was just hyped, and I was just being me, just over the top and just
Yeah.
going up. And it had magazine articles written on
It's
it and
crazy.
everything. And Brandy actually ended up giving me a phone call, and I missed the call, and she ended up leaving me a voicemail message. I did a video on that, which
Oh
did
wow.
really great. And where I played the voicemail message, and then she ended up calling me back, and then we and her had a one-on-one conversation. And then that led to Perez Hilton reaching out to me literally later on that week and was like, it was Wednesday. It was either a Wednesday or a Thursday. His team reached out to me and was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I was like, "Nothing." He was like, "Okay, we want to fly you down to Los Angeles and have you do the red carpet correspondence for the MTV Movie Awards." I've
Hello.
only been doing YouTube since February,
Yeah.
and all of this crazy stuff is happening. Of course, I went, and it was the experience of the lifetime. I killed it. After that, I went to Perez Hilton's home, set with him, and it was my first time going to a celebrity's house. It was just like God is really showing out,
Yeah.
really showing out. And remember that I said that I left my publishing company at that time. I'm broke,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dead broke at this time. Savings is gone. And it was a whole thing. I started working with Brandy's manager. It was supposed to be a book deal with a new publishing company. That didn't come through. So it was like 2013 was like the best year of my life and the worst year of my life all at the same time,
Yeah.
because God was literally shaking up my life and was like, okay, it's time for things to go in a different direction. You got to leave this man alone. You about to get your business together. This YouTube channel is blowing up. Friends that don't need to be in your life, we're getting rid of those people. We're getting your health together. It was like everything was changing either for the better or for the worse, you know.
Hmm.
And like I said, I couldn't believe that what 4 months into YouTube, I'm at the MTV Movie Awards, literally interviewing RuPaul and Ariana Grande and all of these people. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
whose life is this? Like, I'm a little black girl from north side of St. Louis. Like, what is going on? But that's why I said I feel like it was all about timing, because I don't think that I was ready for it when I was thinking about doing it in my 20s. I wasn't mentally prepared yet for that type of exposure and all of these
Mhm.
people coming out the woodwork. I had people talking about they was my cousins. I was
Oh
like,
wow.
"Who are you?" But me being 32, I was able to handle it a lot better. But it also taught me that I didn't want to be famous,
Hmm.
because it was so many people in your ear. And I see how celebrities be like going crazy and not knowing who to trust and
Yeah.
people switching up on you. That whole experience taught me I'd rather be behind the camera than in front of the camera.
Hmm.
But that was the pivot. I was like, okay, so I need to be doing reviews.
Yeah.
Reviews is obviously where my talent is, so let's focus on that. So it went from doing reality show reviews, I started doing concert reviews, product reviews. People liked hearing my opinion because I didn't lie. I will
Yeah.
never lie. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to be blunt about it. I'm funny, so I of course integrate my humor, and I just am myself. I would go on YouTube with a scarf on my head, no makeup,
Yep. In
and
your
just be
bed.
myself. Exactly. Because I was like,
Mhm.
y'all see what I can look like. Y'all get
Right.
it.
Right.
But it ain't about that. I ain't about to be coming on here every day doing makeup and doing all of that stuff. Who got time for all of that? Be
Yeah.
yourself, and people will naturally gravitate to you. So
Yeah.
that was literally my niche: being myself, being funny, being authentic, being truthful. And that's how my channel started to slowly grow.
Yeah. And that's when I found your channel. Like I think that you had somewhere between like 20 and 30,000 subscribers when I found your channel.
Hmm.
And watching you, it literally felt like just being at a slumber party and
Yeah.
just listening to somebody, who, the funny girl, like I hope that she comes over because, we're going to have a good time if she comes.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. And I told you back then, that's when I was engaged to that
Yeah.
white guy who looked like Stone Cold
Mhm.
Steve Austin. His mother and I used to watch your Real Housewives of Atlanta
Mhm.
reviews, and we would be cracking up. And there were times, because you say everything,
Yeah.
and and when you say the N word, she be laughing a little too hard, you got a
Yeah, this
problem.
is back when you could cuss on YouTube.
You just laugh at it. Don't think say it. I'm watching. but but no, that's what drew me to your channel, and so let's take a little detour because I started a channel, later, years
Mhm.
later, and it sucked so bad when I started my channel. And I would ask Keisha, like, yeah, because she was active in her comments too, because I didn't know her. Like we weren't like talking,
Mhm.
offline or anything. Um, I had to, you know, get my channel big before she would entertain me like with a real
She a
conversation.
damn lie.
But I would ask her, I'm like, well, what do I have to do? And at this time, I'm like doing just random stuff, talking about whatever I saw on Twitter that caught my attention that day. I wasn't like the way I tell stories now. I was not doing that,
Mhm.
and I would go to Keisha's channel and I would watch her do her reality show review, and then she started throwing in these little treats at the end of her
Mhm.
reviews where she would tell some kind of old school celebrity. She would call it nostalgic tea.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh man, those are so good. And I knew a lot of the stories and then like extra stories. And I would tell her like, Keisha, like I'm working on this channel, but like nobody watches this channel. Like, what should I do? And I always tell everybody that you were just too polite to tell me, well, maybe, stop making content that sucks. And then maybe people will, consider watching. She would never say it in those words, but that was essentially what she
No, it wasn't. I never even thought that.
well, the content was bad, but the thing that changed my channel was actually uh, I was inspired by Keisha's stories, and there was a story that I wanted her to tell. And I'm like, hey, I have this idea for this story. Like, why don't you tell this nostalgic tea story, after one of your reviews? And I don't remember if you said that you couldn't or didn't want to, or like you weren't sure about the story. And I was like, just be like waiting on her to like tell the story. Like I'm watching, and then I'm like, oh, she's doing a nostalgia tea. This has got to be it. And when I saw that, like, okay, it's not gonna happen. Like, you know what? I'll tell the story. I'll just tell the story myself. And I didn't tell that story first. I got around to telling that story on my channel, but I told another story in that vein, and that was the content. There wasn't any TV show review that went before it because that wasn't what I did, and
Mhm.
that wasn't what I came to YouTube wanting to do. I was watching a lot of people like Keisha, and that's how I found her because the first YouTube channel that I ever watched, I'll never forget, was Ashley Miller. Do you know who that is?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
that was the first YouTube channel I ever watched. And that was when I was in my days of watching the Bad Girls Club. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm so embarrassed to admit that I used to love that show. But she used to review that show. And then, so I, like, who came to YouTube late, even watching, not just with the channel, but YouTube had been around years before I even watched YouTube. And so then, you watch a thing and then YouTube shows you more stuff like that you watch. And so you come up in the algorithm. Roxy,
Mhm.
she comes up. Um, the girl whose name I won't mention because she like actively stole things that you said in your reviews. You know who I'm talking about. Uh,
I
uh,
don't know.
you do know.
Oh, I don't remember. That's another thing. Mind your business and stay in your lane on YouTube, and don't
Yeah,
get into the internet crap.
yeah, yeah. And you never went public with it. You told me that like she said something that you said word for word. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
did.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
You
okay.
know who
Yeah,
I'm
now I
talking about.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And so people like that, Justin J, he was King of Reads, I think is what he goes by now.
Mhm.
Like all these people, who were doing that, and then you come up, and I'm like, okay, so this is what YouTube is. It's a place where people review, TV shows. That's literally what I thought YouTube was,
Mm-mm.
because YouTube was just showing me the things that I watched. So I didn't even
Mm.
realize there were people doing makeup tutorials and talking about news and politics. I just thought like, oh, okay. And and so and every time I thought that I was doing something on YouTube, I thought that like I was doing something new because like clearly everyone comes here to talk about TV shows. So I'm gonna talk about something else.
Mhm.
I'm gonna but anyway, so if y'all are wondering, like, how I started talking about what I did, even though I have pivoted too. Part of it was just me waiting for Keisha to tell a story. Then I'm like, you know what? Just tell it yourself, because she's probably not gonna
Yeah.
tell. um, what was or were the biggest challenges that you faced in like getting to 100,000 subscribers? Because that is a place where YouTubers want to get.
Mhm. Um, not knowing the business side. Because once I talked to you and you helped me out tremendously with the back end of it, that's when my channel really started to soar. Because when I started working with Ty, it was 2022. It was January 2022. And at that point, I was at 40 something thousand subscribers. Where was I at? Was it
42.
40? 42. Yeah,
Mhm.
42,000
And I remember
subscribers.
because I was waiting on the 50,000 because you were going to give away the designer bag, and I
Yeah.
was waiting to win the designer bag.
And so, mind you, it's 2022 and I'm only at 42,000, and I've been on YouTube since 2013. And Ty has started her channel and she'd already surpassed that. And I'm like, no, this heifer didn't. I've been over here working my ass off all these years on this damn channel. And I ain't even at 50,000 yet. What am I doing wrong? I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. But it really wasn't what I was doing wrong. It was, once again, I just didn't know the business side of it, because
Mhm.
for all of those years, YouTube was just my part-time job or hobby. It wasn't something that was at the forefront of what I was doing. And by that time, I was filming several days out of the week doing certain shows, but I wasn't doing daily filming like I am now, because now I've switched it over where YouTube is my main source of income and my books are now on the back end. But at the time when I started working with Ty in 2022, I was doing like maybe about 5 videos a week or whatever, maybe 6. And I'm thinking I'm doing good. At that point, I was bringing in about 2,000 and something a month. And that was like play money for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And when I saw how well Ty's channel was doing, and we were talking one day, and she was telling me about the money she was making, I said, now, wait a minute. Now, what am I doing wrong? And she was like, you feel comfortable? Let me see your channel. I was like, girl, yeah, shit. Because I was like, what am I doing wrong? Now, mind you, let's go back. Remember, I told you guys I was doing YouTube for like 3 years and hadn't gotten paid. And it wasn't until YouTube will reach out to you and say, hey, we have a YouTube manager that would like to, do a one-on-one assessment of your channel. And I did that. And I mentioned, like, I'm haven't gotten any money. And so we realized that I had the wrong email address under there. So I had to fix my email address, and I got my first YouTube payment. It was from back end, and I think the money was like 3,000 and something dollars. And so I was like, "Ooh, I got three extra $1,000." And then after that, that's when I started bringing in a couple of hundred every month or whatever. But by the time, like I said, I started working with Ty, I was bringing in about 2,000 and something dollars a month, which was, like I said, it was good for me at the
Mhm.
time. And then me and Ty were on the phone, and I let her go to my channel, and she looked at my analytics, and we went from there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was that after I interviewed you for something,
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
we had
after Paper Heart.
that was after Paper Heart.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, so she has a book called Paper Heart that she turned into a movie, a full feature film,
So you can
and
watch it on Peacock or Tubi.
yeah, yeah. And so I was so impressed by that. And when I saw that it was happening, I'm like, can I please interview you, about that? And then back, like, so when you're on StreamYard and you're live on YouTube, this is what it looks like. And then when you go off, like when I hit in the stream, this is still what it looks like. So we're backstage and we're talking, and that's when we had that conversation.
Mhm.
And I asked you, like, well, how are you placing your ads? And you were like, what?
I was like, "What?" I was like, "What
I
you
said,
talking about?"
you don't know about, I like, wait, I said,
No.
we got to talk. He's like, hold on.
I was like, "Why my thumbnails look like this?" And you was like, "Well, girl, yeah."
Yeah. So I'm like, I was like, okay, do you have like 2 hours
or we can sit down and talk tomorrow. And she said, I sure, this H2,
I'm like,
I
good
sure
time,
do. Bring it
good
on.
time, boss.
And she came ready to take notes, but
Mm-hmm.
the main thing was ready to take action.
Yes.
She did not sit on anything.
Mm-mm.
She started moving on everything right away, and I knew it because she had follow-up questions. And like, because
Mm-hmm.
I can tell, like, when I'm saying something and people are like, oh yeah, that's good, that's great, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm like, how did it go? Did it, yes, no, anything? Like, because you'll tell me something, or you'll
Uh-huh.
ask me like, what's the next thing, or something. And so we had that one session, and that was the main thing. But there was a lot of follow up that we
Yes.
did, and because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I can tell you things, but like once you get in it, then it's like, okay, now you told me this, but what about blah blah blah? Like just
Mm-hmm.
like with anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she did that, and we're gonna get to how I know, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you now, and obviously one of the main markers that things are going well is the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So do you mind sharing? Because that's what we were trying
Yes,
to get
we
together.
will.
That's what took us so long. Your revenue, and tell us how it's grown and how, if at all, it has impacted your life. Because I know you were always not like you were making money before,
Yeah.
but share that
Um,
side with us.
yes, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys.
This rain is coming down, y'all. If I lose y'all, I'm so sorry. It's like a storm going on out here.
Let me make sure this is the right one.
And while she's bringing that up, any thoughts, y'all? We'll get Keisha. Do you have like a little time after we're done with the interview to answer a few questions?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I got to add this to the screen. Okay, so will you explain what we're taking a look at here?
Okay, you guys. So this is my revenue from January to December of 2021. So I wanted you guys to see where my channel was at um the year before I started working with Ty. So as you can see, like I said, I was bringing in about 2,000 and something dollars every month. The most I'd made was, where was this at? I just passed it. $3,707 in the month of March that year. So this was, like I said at the time, decent money for me, because not even decent, it was really good money for me because it was my side hustle. And as you can see, I um earned $32,000. So that's somebody's yearly job wager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In monthly, I mean yearly income. So I was like, okay, great. I'm thinking I'm doing something, which I was, because there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of YouTube channels that don't even make that. Um, but then when I started working with Ty, this is my year of 2022. And as you can see, January, I was still bringing in the 2000 and something. And January was the month that I started working with Ty. And it was like towards the end of the month where me and her began to discuss how to improve my channel. And as you can see, February, I had a huge leap. I went from 2,000 to 7,000 in my next month.
In one
And
month, that
in
is
1 month.
crazy.
And as you can see, by September, I'd earned for that year, one of my highest incomes was just $12,906. So that's when, because my goal for myself that year was to start getting into the double digits. And that was one of the things that me and Ty had spoke of. But what really helped my channel, and how Ty really helped me grow the channel was she had me go into my analytics and look at the videos that I had the most viewership on. And I never thought about that because it's so simple and easy. Like, this is what you need to be focusing on. So
Mhm.
when I went into my analytics, I saw that the reviews that I did on shows like Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Potomac were the videos that I got the most views from. which then of course is going to translate into your revenue. And so I started focusing on anything revolving around those top shows, not just the reviews, but any gossip, news, whatever. And I was just pumping out videos on those topics. And I also went from only uploading one video a day, maybe two, to doing like 4 or 5 videos a day. And that's how the leap happened to as well.
Okay, so you probably just heard her say that she records several videos a day, maybe 4 or 5. I'm remembering because I watched this recording and I'm going to insert this part right here. That is not necessarily advice that I give to every single person. That works for her because of the kind of content that she creates and the news cycle that goes along with it. Plus, this is all fun for her. And so that's not necessarily advice that I give to every single content creator. Keep that in mind. And again, if you want to work with me, email me. I would love to help you get your YouTube going the way that you want it to go.
That was crazy. I was so surprised when you told me how much it changed in just that first month. And February is a short month,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Not that it's like a significant difference, but we lose 3 days. Like,
Yeah, but also I want to point out, as you can see, like I said, the year before I brought in 32,000, and the next year it went to $107,683. So yeah, it
six
worked.
figures up in here.
Yeah, by the next year, with everything that me and Ty discussed. So the proof is in the pudding.
I love this. Like, I love seeing the numbers. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Yep.
talking about. And so, all that extra money from your side hustle, did it impact your life any? And I'm again, I know you were earning good money before, and YouTube was just a side thing. But did it have an impact? And if so, what kind of impact?
Oh, most definitely. Because with my books, I was making 6 figures, and then to add another 6 figures in, I mean, it afforded me my house that I live in right now. Like I said, I was making great money, making 6 figures. Me and my son lived in a loft downtown, overlooking the riverfront. Great, beautiful, but I wanted more space, and I was able to get my house that I live in right now, which is 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 2 kitchens, 2 fireplaces, indoor and out, balcony, movie theater. Yeah.
Yeah,
It helps tremendously, tremendously. And like I said, it helps so much that my goal for myself, um and after 2023 was, okay, I'm going to put the books on the back burner and focus on getting my channel to 100,000 subscribers. And this was something that I decided to do in the beginning of 2023. Okay, now it's time for me to really get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. And so it took 2 years to do it. And I did it in 2 years, got it to 100,000 subscribers. And right now I'm at 100,000, like 500 and something subscribers.
yeah, that's awesome. In 2 years, but and so what? We went from 40 to
42.
42,000. That took 2 years.
Mm-hmm. 42,000 in the beginning of 2022. And I think by the end of that year, I was at 60, wasn't I?
That seems right. I
Yeah, I
really
think by the end of that year, I was at about 60,000 something subscribers. So that was a huge leap. The most subscribers I'd ever gained in a year's time.
word. Yeah, I love it. I love this. And so now that we know how the revenue is going for you, I cannot help but ask, can I have a dollar to or something?
You sure can, ma'am.
Let me hold a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's all about the Washingtons, baby. You know what I'm saying? No, thank you for sharing that with us. That's
Mhm.
major. Um, Now I want to ask. I think that this is a great question to ask YouTubers who get the success that they want. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice when you were just starting your channel, what would you tell yourself?
Learn the business side and not just use it as something fun to do. Um, but because I think everything happens for a reason. But I think it was a blessing that I got the niche side of it down packed before the
Yeah.
money came in, because I knew my audience, I knew what I was doing, I knew who I was, targeting, I knew my lane and what's gonna bring in um viewers.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never tell anybody just to stick to that one thing. Still try other things. You know what I'm saying? Don't try a bunch at a whole time because it'll mess up your algorithm.
Right.
But it's nothing to branch out and do other things, because Ty, for years, as she said, how she started her channel by waiting for me to do a specific video, and I didn't have the time to get to it because remember, I'm still writing books and everything else. And she took that and then started her own situation. But she would tell me for years, you need to write, you need to do evergreen content. I knew nothing about evergreen content. What is evergreens, ma'am? Please tell me.
Not evergreens.
It's content, because what I do is basically the equivalent of fast fashion
Yeah.
in my niche, which is I'm talking about a reality show that week or a news topic from that week, celebrity gossip, celebrity news. So it's only going to be hot for a few days, maybe a week, depending on the story, maybe a few weeks. But after that, we're going on to the next one. But I learned via Ty and then watching other YouTube channels that you need evergreen content where people will come.
Wait a minute. You're watching other YouTube channels?
Girl, shut up. Y'all can see how we are now. Like we are like sisters. I mean, like, Ty, shut up. But yeah, she told me about evergreen content that you need to start putting out that people can go back to years and years from now. And I was like, oh. So that prompted me to start focusing on that type of content that people can come back. And since I've incorporated that into my channel, I don't do it as much as I should. But when I do, I've gotten big numbers. Like the last video that I did that got huge numbers was Corinne Steffens, and going back to her novel, her autobiography from years ago, and how in her novel she talked about Diddy and her experience. And that video got up to about 300,000 views and made a nice little chunk of change from off of
Mm-hmm.
that video. And so it's still producing numbers to this day. So I tried to incorporate evergreen content into my quote unquote fast topics or whatever videos as well. And I also do a lot of fashion stuff on my channel that has its core audience. Do the videos do as well as my reviews or celebrity gossip? Not typically. They're mid-range videos that typically get between 3 to 5,000 views, but every now and then, depending on what I'm talking about, you will get a blow up video, but I have a core audience that looks forward to my fashion killer videos where I review celebrity fashions, because that's still a part of who I am, the hair, the makeup, the clothes, and everything else. And would be remiss if I didn't incorporate things that I love, because your channel has to be about stuff that you love.
Yeah.
If you're doing it as a job, then it's going to feel like a job, and not to
Yep.
say that it won't get monotonous, it won't get tiresome, because there is a lot of work that goes into YouTube. And if you're going to do it, you have to be serious about it and diligent about it, but at the end of the day, you still have to have fun while doing it. And I love doing this and growing this community of people that look to me just to hear my opinion, and I'm
Yes.
getting paid for people to hear me talk crap. Like,
I'm in the T squad.
yeah, like that's a blessing. So yeah, I would say learning the business end of it, because that's when I really started seeing the fruits of my labor, once I started learning the behind the scenes, and keep learning, because YouTube changes every other day. So it's not just me talking to Ty, and there are other YouTube advisors channels that I watch on YouTube. Shut the hell up. that have taught me so much. So I'm continuously learning. You can never stop learning because Ty be going to the conventions and talking to gurus and all types of stuff. And thankfully, she cares enough to even share those things with me. So build you an outside community of people that are willing to share information, which is great too as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And see, and that's the thing. So like, you're my first one-on-one client, and you told me like, hey, you need to be doing this, and you need to be
Hmm.
charging a pretty penny for it, because I did not feel comfortable charging what, you know. Teachers like, you need to be charging $1,000 for this. I'd have paid $1,000 for this. You know, I would pay, and yeah. Uh, so now I feel, very confident, to do it. Some might say overly confident. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because Keisha knows I still learn. And
Hmm.
when you have, when you're my one-on-one client, I never dropped you after the session. Like,
No.
we're gonna keep talking, because YouTube still, like Keisha said, it's always changing. And even in moments where it's not changing, maybe something's a little bit off, and you just need like that extra pair of eyes to, look and say. Because sometimes, like, yeah, I know how it is. Like, when we are making something, we get so close to what we're making that we can't, like, that the thought of criticizing it, or the thought that it might not be as good as we think it is, it
Hmm.
can bruise our egos a little bit, you know.
Hmm.
And then there's also YouTubers who get into the notion that, because I spent a lot of time on this, someone should watch it. And just because you spent a lot of time on it doesn't make it good,
Yeah.
doesn't make it, that it's something that appeals to someone.
Hmm.
So, spend your time learning how to edit, learning how
Yeah.
to write titles, learning how to make thumbnails. Those are good skills. But Keisha is different, because she's the first person I worked with who needed help with the other stuff. She already had the audience built, like she said. And that's something that she and I have in common. Both of us started our channels for fun. What were you gonna say?
I had the audience, but even when I started working with Ty, she still helped me with my thumbnails, with my titles and things to really help get more viewership and more exposure because I had to learn things about how to get myself on the recommended page and all of these things that I did not pay no attention to, And since I've worked with Ty, I incorporate Chat GPT to help me with my titles. I pay every month for vidIQ, which helps me with content ideas, scripts, and things of that nature. I pay every month for PicMonkey. I pay every month for Canva, which I do my which I do my thumbnails with now. The way I do thumbnails now compared to the way I used to do them are totally different. Ty is the one that told me you need to use bold letters, like she just told the young lady in the beginning of this video. Be bold, use colors yellow or red because those are the colors that really pop. You need to make sure that your thumbnail not only looks good on TV but on the phone. So when somebody's scrolling, it sticks out and makes you want to click on that. When you have bright colors, that sticks out. You don't want to have it all cluttered and things like that. If you're going to use a little keyword, make sure that it's something that is going to intrigue somebody, whether it's the word shocking, explosive, warning, things of that nature that really takes hold of people's, curiosity. So I learned these things from Ty with my titles. I would just literally write Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 1 episode 2 review.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute. It does what it does, but let's change that to Stevie J's most epic meltdown. Love and Hip
Yeah,
Hop. Da, da, da. Like that's what's going to grab people. Like what Stevie J did now? He melted down. Oh
right.
Lord. And then
Most
you're
epic, more epic than the other one.
yeah. And
Even?
so I
What?
also learned from Ty, okay, your thumbnail needs to coincide with the title. So if he's having a meltdown, you need to find a photograph of Stevie J crying, looking frustrated, or something like that. And I was like, oh, you so right. Why didn't I think of that? It was like, boom,
Yeah.
duh, Keisha. So if it's a video where the person is happy, find a happy photograph of them. Stuff like that, like little minute things, but they make a big impact. And I did not focus on that at all. At all. What else did Ty teach me? Oh, as far as video um time span, I didn't know that anything under 8 minutes you couldn't do ad breaks. Is it under 8 or 6?
8.
8. So I didn't even know nothing about ad breaks. I was like, girl, what is an ad break? Don't they add the things in there for you? I was like, what? Huh?
Well, we
So
gotta talk, Keisha. We
yeah,
gotta
she taught
talk.
me about ad breaks and everything, ways to earn more ad revenue money. I didn't know anything about the RPM, the CPM. I was like, girl, all I know is color people time. What is you talking about? And um one of the things that I learned with my channel, because this was last year, I called Ty and I was like, Ty, I don't know what's going on with my channel. I'm not making the money that I should be making.
I'm
I'm
only making $8,000 a month at YouTube. Something that people would kill to do for a living
I'm
for
like,
half
I'm
this
pumping
money.
out like 5 videos a day. The content is there, the viewership is there, but I'm not making no money. And we couldn't figure
Only
it out.
8,000.
But we couldn't figure it out.
I
But
was laughing at you for real. I was like, okay, hello, hello, Miss First World Problems, because when we talked about this, you were making $2,000 a month, and it was talking about doing it big. Oh, y'all, that's play money for me. I go buy my mama a purse for that money. I don't need that
child,
money. And
but at
now,
that time, I was so used to bringing in over 10,000 a
I
month that I
know.
wasn't making it. And I was like, now wait a minute, what is going on? But
Only made 8,000 this month. I've only made 8,000 for the last 2 months. It's
and I'm like,
insane.
what is going on? But it taught me what was going on with my particular algorithm. Hold on, my battery getting low. Let
Okay.
me
So while she's having that, yeah, she was afraid that she was going to have to size down to grande lattes.
But no, because we couldn't figure it out. Like Ty went into my page, we couldn't figure it out. And then I just kept on working at it and looking. And I realized that I was making like celebrity gossip videos, right? And I was making sure that they were right over the 8 minute mark so I could put in my ad breaks. But what I didn't realize is putting in videos that were just a little bit over 8 minutes, it was dropping my ad revenue. I was only bringing in like $4, $5 for every 1,000, views. And I was like, oh, when I looked in my analytics, I saw that videos that I had that were over 10 minutes, I made more money. So I was like, that's what I'm doing wrong. So now I know I need to make sure that my videos are over 10 minutes when I'm doing my celebrity gossip videos. So always look at your analytics to see what you're grossing for your videos, what's working, what's not working, because that ad revenue is huge, you know. And with the niche that I'm in like the very low bracket niche. The big bracket niches or channels like Ty, because she has evergreen content, finances, health,
Tech.
home, yeah, tech. Those are the channels that make big money where you're going to get 25, $30, in ad revenue per 1,000 views, and so with a channel like mine, because in my niche there is a lot of people in my niche, I have to figure out ways to stick out amongst the fray and to get the money that I like to make.
Yeah.
I know I have to pump out more content. So I personally put out at least 3 to 4 videos a day. A day. I don't do 1 or 2 videos. No, a day. I've been doing daily videos now for over a year,
Yeah.
and it's bringing in the money, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but my goal for my channel moving forward is I want to start getting the viewership that Ty gets. I want the 100K viewers or more for one video, so I don't have to work as hard as I do.
Mhm.
But it'll get there eventually. You just have to continue to work at it.
Yeah. And you have that. Listen, I've talked to you, Layla. Y'all are like the women I really, really talked to about this thing, and I've suggested, to both of y'all, like, hey, try this documentary thing. Try going evergreen because it pays so well.
Yeah.
But I understand the drawback because like my videos haven't really been hidden since September, since I started learning school and all this stuff. But oddly enough, well, it's not odd. I still have videos in the background that are getting good views, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's also when I was able to. That's also when I started taking brand deals. I've been offered brand deals for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and my first brand deal was for 2,000. The second one was for 2,500. The third one they offered me 3,000. I said no. They came back and offered me 5,000. I have 4,000 in brand deals on the table for this month, and so even as my viewership is dropping, they're
Mm-hmm.
still offering me more and more money for brand deals. And it's not because I get a ton of views, and it's certainly not because I don't get a ton of views. It's because they realize how that video is going to live for me on my channel.
Yeah.
That's why. And so that's why I can go and say, like, oh, I only got 20,000 views on my last video, but, I want 4,000 for this brand deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll give it to me because they know that it's probably going to pick up later.
Yeah.
People are still going to come and watch this. So when she has something else pick up, then this thing will pick up later, and they trust it.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I haven't lost anything. Like my viewership is down. My subscribers aren't going up as fast as they were, but my revenue is not going down. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if I don't ever get one. If one person never hits that subscribe button again, and I don't get 200,000 subscribers, if my revenue doesn't take a hit, I truly don't care. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be cranking out bad content. It's just that that's not my focus. And when you log into your dashboard on YouTube, YouTube makes that your focus. Because what's the biggest, boldest number that you see, Keisha, on your
Your
dashboard?
subscribers.
Your subscriber count.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what everyone talks about. And I know that it happens for you. People will come in, well, what does YouTube pay you for 40,000 subscribers? What does YouTube pay you for 60,000 subscribers?
It ain't about how many subscribers. No, it's about the content.
Right. But people will get stuck on that. And it's almost like YouTube wants you to get stuck on that
Mm-hmm.
subscriber count.
Yep.
If your revenue is revenuing,
Yeah.
don't worry about that subscriber
Because
count.
I've learned that people that have millions of subscribers, that don't mean that they're making more money than me personally.
Right.
I've seen other channels where I'm making more money. I'd be like, I'm making more money than that person. I'll be shocked by that. It's literally about your work ethic, your content, and what you're putting out.
Yeah. It's the value that you bring, whether, and everyone here has different types of channels. Keisha and I, our channels are both essentially entertainment channels. We do it in a very different style. But
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're both here, successful YouTubers, verified YouTubers. Because I told you, 98.9 thousand subscribers, you were not going to get to come on to my membership and tell anybody anything about growing on YouTube. I'm just kidding. But I did make the joke with her after I started my new channel because I wanted to just go and brag on her a little bit and tell them like, hey, I've grown my channel to this thing, and I've helped this other channel grow. And I said it before. I'm just like recording and talking. And I'm like, let me go and see. I'm like, she's at 99.9. Oh my god, she's almost there. And then I joked about her because I asked, I was like, hey, do you mind like just recording? And this is why she's here, because I asked her if she minded recording just like a little, like an ad that I could show on the
Mm-hmm.
new channel where I'm helping people with YouTube. And she says, well, how about I do you one better, friend? How about I come and let you interview me? I was like, are you serious? You would do that? And she's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, she says, of course. And I'm like, well, you're not verified yet. Do you mind like we wait till you get to 100,000?
Yeah, be careful. That's another thing. I ain't even know nothing about my channel getting verified. So that's another thing we got to talk about when we get off of here. I'm like, verified. I thought I was fine. Shoot, what you talking about?
You don't even have a play button black. No, I'll show you what you
Yeah.
got to do to get your check mark. It's so quick. I have the link, so I'll send it
Okay,
to you,
great.
and you just send it in, and they'll review it. They'll be sure that the subscribers are the subscribers and not bots, and then you'll get your check mark probably in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Um, and people like to see that check mark, and that's just another bargaining tool that you have when you do want to go to people and tell them to sponsor your channel or whatever. But yeah, so it's the value, y'all. It's all about the value. Um, so what would you say to any other creator? Because most of the channels here are not monetized in this membership yet. Like these are like brand new
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers. So what would you say to somebody who feels stuck, or to somebody who's like comparing their channel growth to another channel? Because that's a common thing,
Mm-hmm.
and especially the way that YouTube like kind of almost has you trained to focus on subscriber count. What do you say to those people?
If you're feeling stuck, um, with your channel, I guess not moving or doing what you wanted to do, pivot like I did. Throw out different things and see what sticks. You know, don't be afraid to switch lanes. You might have gone in doing one thing and then you realize that ain't working. Okay, let me do something else and see if that works. Just try different things, but once again, remember to be authentic, because we can tell when you're not being your authentic self, when you're being robotic, when you're trying to be politically correct, when you're reading a script, when you're trying to just to be prim and proper.
I always read a script, Keisha. What do you
Girl,
mean?
shut up. You know what I mean. Um, but yeah, authenticity means a lot to me, and I think that it means a lot to the people that watch me. And then I'm an avid watcher of a lot of other channels. YouTube now is one of my main sources of entertainment. I watch more YouTube now than I do regular TV. That's how much I love it, and to see all of these different creators. And one thing that I always used to tell other authors, I will tell you all, is to dare to be different. Don't compare yourself to anybody. There's nobody on YouTube that is me,
Yeah.
that has the delivery that I have, the jokes that I have, that think the way that I do. I literally am the same on camera as I am off camera.
Well, there
There's
is somebody who has the jokes that you have. She stole them from
girl,
you, and
shut up. And that's how you know when somebody's stealing your stuff, because you so authentically you. But yeah, don't compare yourself to other channels and all of that stuff. Like literally, I did it in my book career and I do it on YouTube. I stay in my lane. I focus on what I'm doing. I don't care what anybody else is doing. If I like you, I'll support your channel. But I don't have a lot of YouTube friends and all of that stuff, because that can get real messy real quick. Don't have everybody in your business. Just stay focused on what you're doing. Put your head down, get to work, and just do what you got to do.
yeah, that's it. Um, this is so good, Keisha. What are your next steps for your channel and just for things in general? Because I know you have your writing career. You always keep something going on. What's next for you?
This year is a big year for me. I'm pivoting once again in my career, because over the last 2 years, YouTube has been my main source of income, and I have readers that are on my neck for me to come back.
Yeah.
So my goal for myself this year is to um get this channel, and then I have my second channel that I'm about to really start promoting and getting out there, and get both channels really at the point where they can really just start working for themselves pretty much. um and I've reached 100,000. That was my goal. I'm making over six figures. So now my goal for myself this year is to get to 200,000, and not just subscribers, but yearly income from
Hmm.
this, and get my second channel, prayfully, hopefully, to making great money. And that's another thing. you don't have to just have your one channel. You can have multiple channels if you can handle it.
Yeah.
I need an editor because I have so much going on that I can only do but so much myself.
Yeah.
So I have gotten to a point now where I do need to start building a team because I have other businesses that I'm working on. Um, and I just want to continue to grow. This year on my Color Me Pink channel, of course, I'm going to continue to do television show reviews and everything, but I also started a Patreon last year because with all of the changes with YouTube, there's so many restrictions and things that I felt like I was being restricted. I couldn't be myself. I like to curse. You know what I'm saying? The people that watch me like that I like to curse. They love to hear me curse.
Mhm.
So I had to start my Patreon so I could be me over there. And now I have people paying monthly to see me be me over there that like that content. And so I'm having so much fun over there on Patreon. And like I said, I'm going to continue to do my reality TV reviews as well as my drama reviews and everything. But I got my fashion killer stuff going on. I have different podcast shows with some of my great friends that I'm bringing back on my channel. And with my second channel, it's going to be called Pop Culture Digest. And it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be an interactive channel. And I don't want to talk too much about it because it's not up and ready yet, but it's going to be dope. Like, I really feel like I'm going to be bringing something different to the YouTube aspect that I haven't seen anybody else do. So I'm super excited.
Mhm. Okay. Well, will I get an invitation to that channel?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I've never been invited to your main channel, and I keep hearing about all these great friends you have coming
She
on to do
is
things
a
with you,
lie
and
and
I've
a half. She is
never
a lie
been
from
invited.
the 90s.
And that other girl, I don't even know if she has a channel. The one who makes the cakes, like she gets to do things with you just because she's your best friend. I don't know. So, uh, well, if you find room for me,
I cannot with her. I
I'm
cannot
here.
with her.
Good
Cannot.
advice.
Cannot and will not.
And I would like to get that urban audience as well, on my content.
I'm gonna invite you on there next week. We're gonna talk about love and hip hop, something you don't even watch.
Well, next week I'm going to be busy. Actually, I
Exactly.
calendar that.
You'll be like, who? What girl? Okay, no.
I
Uh,
used to watch it. I used to watch it. I
you
stopped. I only stopped watching after the pandemic, and when they start,
um,
remember they started filming and it was weird. Everybody was wearing
yeah,
masks, and
yeah. It's
that's
gotten
when
back
we
to
stopped
its
watching.
original formula now.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
been
now
good.
I can't even force myself to care. I
Mm-mm.
stopped watching Married to Medicine a long time ago.
Oh, this
I
season
just don't like how
sucks.
they did. Is it
Mariah.
Mariah? Okay, I was like, saying
Yeah,
the wrong name,
yeah.
and I stopped watching Real Housewives of Potomac 2 seasons ago, or maybe three, maybe two
It's been
seasons
good
ago,
again. Not in Robin
and
Go.
I don't know about returning to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that's the last bit
Yeah.
of reality TV that I was watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but
Um,
I still support all the
yeah.
channels that I always supported.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me to care.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's funny, I don't watch other review channels
mm,
because I tend to find, this is just my opinion, I tend to find other reviewers boring.
yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. At this point, I was excited by a lot of people when I first came to YouTube, but like you were the one, like you would have me cracking up. Literally, my stomach would be hurting, and there's not a lot of people who do that. People kind of, a lot of people, even who I watched, and like they've got this formulaic thing, and you kind of like know what you're going to get every time. And I
Mhm.
know what I'm going to get when I watch you, but I don't know what you're going to say. You're a lot more
Yeah.
spontaneous than the other
Mhm.
people. The jokes land a lot better
Yeah.
than the other people.
Like I do. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
Like
fine.
with, I started this a year ago. Keisha's Theater now with my reviews, where I have a whole segment where I act out scenes from that episode.
Yeah.
And I went on, I've never seen anybody else do this, where I went on Google Images and found like different cutouts of hairstyles and stuff. And like I have a whole folder on my computer with all of these different hairstyles, so I
Yeah.
can have the hairstyle without having to put on a wig and everything. I got my backdrops and everything, and I literally pretend like I'm all of these different people and acting out the scenes. And that's one of the things that helped my House of the Dragon reviews really blow up this past season, because every week they would look forward to seeing what scene is she gonna act out now, doing these voices and all of this stuff. I'll have props, and it's crazy. So once again, I'm still growing what
Yeah.
I'm doing and stepping outside the box, because nobody else is doing that. So never be afraid to add something on to what you already do.
I agree. And I must say, I used to have Ty's Masterpiece Theater when I was doing my ordinary people stories.
Uh-huh.
And I did a few that like where I would just like use because I wasn't on camera, but
Uh-huh.
I would use cutout characters of whatever the story was, and I would act out the voices, just like from some crazy story in Jet magazine that happened over the week, and people were falling out, and I enjoyed doing it, but I don't have
I
time for
love
that
it.
kind
I
of
wish I
audience
could come back
anymore.
with the
Who
Jet
am I kidding?
magazine.
No, I'm just kidding.
I love the Jet magazine content.
Oh man, I love those stories. They're just like, and when I was doing, because back then I was doing like, a few
Mm-hmm.
videos a week. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was just something easy for me to get out.
Yep.
And oh look, see, we have a fan. Nisi remembers my Masterpiece Theater. It's so funny, and I love
Yeah.
doing it. But it's not about us. It's not about me. Um, I want to ask, do you all have any questions for Keisha? And while I'm waiting for your questions to come in the chat or comments, um, Keisha, I want to thank you so much.
No, thank
Uh,
you.
I mean, serious, because you're part of the reason that I'm even doing YouTube. Because I had to talk with you, about leaving my career. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
been in construction project management for 20 years
Mm-hmm.
before I left to do YouTube full time, and it sounded insane to everyone I told because the last position I left, that money was so good. Oh my gosh, that money was good, and it hurt to leave it. Um, I didn't understand why just because I wasn't going to work, they don't want to pay me. I think it's because I'm black. Maybe there's a lawsuit there. I don't know. I'll revisit that later.
Mm.
But I was nervous, and
Yeah.
you were the one like you talked to me. You're like, just go for it. Like you need to do what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and because I wasn't like getting a whole lot of just wholehearted support from people I knew in real life. 'Cause everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like that's some good money. I'll take that job. Like girl, how you gonna leave that job? Yeah, and I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like it's a
Yeah.
drag when I go in there, and
But you proved everybody wrong, because it was, what was it, less than a year? And you had already gotten it to over six figures. Like, that's what made me be like, now what the hell is she over there doing?
listen, I wasn't playing the game because yeah, and I didn't replace my income right away. But I'm like, I know what I want to earn. I know what
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to just drastically go down in lifestyle just like if say I'm a
Yeah.
YouTuber. That wasn't the thing. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I really want to do it, and that's why I started studying the business of it.
Yep.
I'm like, there's got to be a way because I think that I'm as talented and more talented than some of these people I see on here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
who I see people comparing me to, even one of them who Keisha put on her list of most favorite YouTube YouTubers, and she just gave me an honorary mention. And I talked to you about it. It was very emotional for me. I had to go to therapy about this, and I told you. And then I look and I'm looking at your top 10 YouTubers, and I'm just waiting to see my name there, and I get an honorable mention, and that
Hell, at least you got
girl.
that. My other friends is on YouTube.
What?
I said, at least you got that. My other friends on YouTube didn't even get that.
See, and so I'm just supposed to be happy with these scraps. You see what I'm dealing with?
Mm-mm.
That you see how she said don't have YouTube friends?
Bingo.
I'm just saying. No, but seriously, there was somebody I was really tired of getting compared to, and part of my pivot, it wasn't because of that, but my pivot has spared me from that. Drum roll, please. Okay, so here's the first question. Tamika says, Keisha, was there ever a point when you considered quitting YouTube?
No. Mm-mm. Never ever. Now, do I get tired sometimes? Absolutely. You're all gonna have times where you're gonna be like, "Child, I ain't putting no videos out. I need a break." So I'll take my break if I want to. I'll take a week or so off and let them know, "Hey, I'm taking a week off. I'll see y'all in a week." And they understand because they know how hard that I work. And like I said, I put out videos daily now over the past year. But quitting, no, it's it's. I can't say that YouTube is hard because it's not. Is can it sometimes be time consuming, considering how many videos you put out? Yes, but it's it's depending on your niche, it's a very easy, lucrative job. I will never complain. I will never complain or groan about sitting in front of a camera with a microphone and just talking about how I feel about something and making the type of money that I make.
Yeah,
Never. Mm-mm.
yeah, word up. And again, I think that that's something that you and I, we're different from a lot of YouTubers in the regard that we both started our channels for fun. We
Yeah.
both were doing something where we were comfortable with the money that we were making, and we just like wanted this place to, you know,
Yeah.
flap our gums, basically.
And it goes to show you how much I love YouTube because, like I said, the first 3 years I didn't even make any money, and I was pumping out videos because I loved it. It
Thank
was
you,
never
Lord.
about the money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, I was on there for a while before I'm like, oh, wait, people get paid for this? Well, hold on. Let me find out about that, because yeah, because like again, my channel got monetized kind of by accident. I didn't know that that was a thing, and then when I saw that like it got monetized, I'm like, oh, here comes the dough. Start rolling in. Let me just get ready to retire. Start rolling up my sleeves now, and so YouTube has this thing where when you get paid, you don't get paid until you clear a $100 threshold for your ad revenue. And my very first check was for $29 and something. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna get paid. And then so the next one was like 30 something. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna take me 3 checks, before I get paid. And then the third one was $99.23. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna take me 4 months to get a check, and it did. So the fourth month, I got it was like 129 something, and so
Girl.
then eventually, I started getting that one check a month. I'm like, okay, I can pay my water bill with this,
Mhm,
to keep going, and then okay, well,
mhm.
pay my electricity bill with my YouTube check. And it's not like I would take it and specifically do that, but I was always like marking like, what could I do with this.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I can pay my electricity and my water bill.
Yeah. And another thing that I'll say before we get off of here is continue to invest in yourself. And by that, I mean yearly I'll buy new equipment. Like I literally just got this new microphone. I just got this new table where I'm filming in my bedroom now. Because it's more comfortable right now than going into my office because I'm lazy. I got new lights. I just got a new webcam and everything. And
What
just
kind of webcam do you have? Do you mind telling me?
this new one that I got is great, friend. Oh my god, I did so much research on it on YouTube. It's called the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite, and it's 4K and it zooms. You can zoom, it tracks you, it's hand operated. So if I put my hands up or whatever, let me see if I can activate it right now. Don't embarrass me. There you go.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Let me see. Do it, girl. There you go. So I can zoom
Hey.
in, zoom out, zoom out, girl.
Ooh, okay. Okay, you gotta talk
So
to her like
yeah. It has a beautifying apps on here and all types of stuff. Like this is like one of the best webcams out on the market right now. And I got it on Amazon for 150. Yeah, ma'am. And
That's
it
a
ain't
lot
no,
of money.
no, it ain't.
I'm so
Um,
cheap. Will you buy me one?
I sure will. I sure will.
You'll buy me
And
one?
yeah,
If you're
and
serious, I'm because I don't want to spend that kind of money.
I will buy it for you and ship it to you. When we get off of here, send me your address and I'll get it for you. Because this is great. There's no software setup. You literally just plug it in and get to going. And I loved it. And I love my
Perks.
new microphone. I finally got my microphone with my stand and everything now. I just love it. It lights up on the bottom and all types of stuff. And I
Man,
just
will you buy me one of those too?
now you being greedy now.
Okay,
Uh,
and listen, I gotta try.
but yeah, like continue to invest in your equipment. I do it yearly. I'll buy a new laptop or whatever. Just continue to upgrade your stuff and make sure that your background and everything is inviting. Don't be nasty. Like make sure your stuff looks good and inviting. Learn about lighting, learn about, your editing software and all of that type of stuff. Like really sit down and invest in learning as much as you can. I cannot with you. You are an idiot. But as you can see, it's tracking me now. So, and then I actually bought this too because I am gonna start doing uh makeup tutorials again. But I needed a webcam where they would be able to zoom in more when I'm, doing my eyes or whatever the case may be. But I love this little thing. And it's so little. It's literally this big.
Gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, y'all, I'm getting a free camera. This okay, well, see y'all. No, okay, no, let's get to the questions. Tamika says, Keisha, um, you're filming multiple videos a day. Do you have a block of time set aside just for filming or a particular structure to your day to get it knocked out?
Yes. So I have a schedule. So say for instance, today is Sunday. So I have 4 shows that come on tonight. And mind you, I do watch along videos on Patreon for all of the videos that's coming on tonight. So 2 of the shows that I have to do is on the Zeus network. So it's an app. So they start coming on at about 5 o'clock. So I'll sit down, film that video, um, put that out there on Patreon, do my review for it on YouTube, but the video doesn't come out until tomorrow afternoon. So I'll get those videos out and then my Bravo content, I got 2 videos to do for Bravo tonight. Those won't be out on Plex until in the morning. So I'll get up in the morning, watch it, put it on Patreon, and then do my review and make sure that it's out before the time slot. That's another thing that we didn't discuss. Um YouTube has a part in your analytics where it shows your audience and it shows you the best times for you to drop your content. And so for me and my channel, I get the most viewerships Monday through Sunday, typically between 2 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. So that's when I post my content. And so another thing that I learned from Ty is to not pump out 2 videos and put it out at the same time. I didn't know that until she taught me that because you want to see what that video is going to do. When you drop a video on YouTube, YouTube then gives it an hour to see where it ranks from 1 to 10. If it's a 10, that means it's not really doing that well. The first hour is not really reaching a lot of people. Not a lot of people are interested. If you get a video that is a 2 or specifically a 1, I've learned you want to just stop, honestly. Don't put nothing else out if you can. Let that video rock and let it continue to reach as many people as you can because that's showing the algorithm that people like this video. So we're going to recommend it to people that normally don't even watch your channel. It's going to be on the recommended page and all of those things. So that taught me to, okay, if my viewership is from 2 to 8, I'll put a video out at 2:02 because that's another thing I learned. At say for instance at 2 o'clock, you have millions of other people that have scheduled their video to go out at 2 o'clock too. So I learned instead of doing 2 o'clock, do 2:02, 2:03, something where you're not in that same time slot as everybody else. So I'll put my video out at 2:02, and then I won't put another video out until 4:02. Give it 2 hours so I can see what it's going to do in that first hour. If it's not a number one video, then I feel comfortable putting out the next one. If it is a number one video, then I'll hold it. I'll hold the next video until the next day or whatever, because your audience will wait. If your audience loves you, they'll wait. They don't care how long it takes for the video to come out. If they want to watch it, they're going to watch it.
They'll wait a month.
So, like I said, I'll do 2, 4, 6, and then 8 o'clock. The last video comes out at directly 8 o'clock. I don't put anything else out after that time period. So my schedule is always ready and prepared for the next day, because I'm always pretty much a day ahead of myself technically. And then what I'll also do is I'll pick a day. Typically right now it's a Thursday or a Friday where I will sit down, and this is my long day. This is my long day where I'm going to work, I know, probably about 10 hours. And that's me filming multiple videos. The most I've done in a day probably is about 8 videos. And those are extra pieces of content that I'll have ready to go for that week if it's a slow news day. So I'll have the, okay, so ain't nothing really out there this morning. I already got this video loaded, ready to go, so it could fit this time slot. And another thing that I do personally, is the video that I know is going to do the best, I save for last. I don't put that out earlier in the day, because I know people got to come home from work. They're going to be winding down. They're going to be eating dinner, and they'll be at home to sit down and watch that key video that's going to do really, really good. Because you'll find a lot of people that won't go to their subscription and go all the way down to 6 o'clock that morning to see what was pumped out early in the morning. But always pay attention to your analytics to see what is the best time where you get the most viewers, so you know when to put out your content.
That's what's up. She knows. Cause she out here doing YouTube as YouTube guru.
I know you taught me so much, gear.
Dang, YouTube guru. I would pay for a session with you if I wasn't so cheap.
Can't stand
But
you.
I am cheap. So they're asking what's the name of the camera. Do you mind just giving me that information when we talk backstage, and then and I'll post it in the membership, y'all, because they're asking what's the can they get a link and what's the price and everything. Tamika said
Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite, LITE.
She calls this a friendship. That's really cute, Tamika.
Girl, she knows she's my best friend. She my friend, y'all.
I'll see when I get that camera. I might be feeling different.
Yeah.
Feel real neglected right now. Yeah, listen, I got a camera. I say this interview is the best one I've done yet. Nobody's ever given me anything of that. How come y'all don't give me stuff? I've interviewed y'all. Nisi, I interviewed you. Can I get a microphone? No. But seriously, if you want to give me one, I'll send you my address. Yes, closed mouths don't get fed. That is the moral of the story.
Period.
Jar. That says ha 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 ha. I know. I am addicted to predator catchers on YouTube. All the people who like do Chris Hansen type take a seat. That's a niche. And there's a guy in the Houston area named Gideon. He caught this predator. It was a Mexican predator who thought that he was talking to a 14-year-old white girl. And he's texting that, oh, I love white women. I just don't know. Like, oh my gosh. And so they invite him to the Sting house where he believes he's going to have sex with two 14-year-old girls. And so a decoy is on the couch. They asked him to bring pizza. He brought the pizza. And then he thought that the other 14-year-old girl was in the shower. But in the bathroom is the predator catcher, his camera, his security. It's just a gang of dudes in there. And so he's all smiling when he opens the door, and then you just see his face go, and it's all of them. And so they start reading him his chat logs. They never want to hear their chat logs. They never want to hear their own words. And Gideon, he's reading the guy's chat logs, and he's like, oh, I like Mexican. I like white women. Y'all are so fine. Jar 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 jar. Instead of saying, and that is just one
Weirdo.
of the. But these predator catchers, girl, they are insane. They set up the craziest things. Skeeter Jean is one. He pretended to give away a car. He drove a Corvette to this predator's house and put a big bow on it and said, "Yeah, we got to give you a test drive, though." He drove this predator to the police station to have him arrested. Like, these predator catchers are nuts. They are
I'm
nuts.
weak.
That's like my thing.
Wow.
And I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra, but I just go by the motto that, I look. I used to attend Lakewood Church, and Joel Osteen he would always say, "You have not because you ask not." That's what the Bible says. So
Period.
I sure do. Thank you for my camera. Any closing words, Keisha? Thank you. And do y'all have any more questions before we cut out? But
Wait,
Keisha, do you have any closing words? I truly appreciate you coming
oh
here.
no. Thank you. No, I think I pretty much said everything. Follow me on my YouTube channel, Color Me Pink, PYNK. If you like celebrity gossip and reality and TV drama show reviews and things of that nature, and if you love fashion, so you can tune into my channel, Color Me Pink, PYNK.
I'll see. I don't know if it's gonna let me. I believe that since we're live, it like might let me put it in the chat. Let me see. I'm gonna try. It's the least I can do. I'm getting a new camera. Let's see. Let's see here. So is it going to be a? Oh, it's not showing up as a link though. It's not showing up as a live link. So y'all can copy and paste that. But let me show y'all the channel. She is moving and grooving and doing it. And what do we say this time next year? 200K? Is that what it
Yes,
is?
ma'am.
I love it. I'm here for it. Let's see here. What did she say? Let's see.
You see, I changed my banner and my profile pic.
Yes, yes, I see. Got all that stuff off of that banner. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to see the. I guess that's House of Dragon. House of
Yes, it has
the
its
Dragon.
own playlist. So go to the House of the Dragon playlist and you can watch my reviews for season 1 and season 2.
Okay, Michelle says she watched it today. Watched your channel today. She loved it.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, Tamika, she's like big on that kind of stuff. Um, and y'all heard she says she has a playlist. Hello, I've been pushing playlists for the longest. That's how you get that watch time, y'all. Most people are able to get their 1,000 subscribers a lot easier than they're able to get their 4,000 watch hours. And once you get it going, y'all, I promise you, you won't lose it if you just keep giving your audience value. Thank you for being here, Lori.
Oh,
Um,
another thing that you taught me is to keep them on a loop. Keep your viewers on a loop. And playlists are a great way to have that happen because you go to my playlist, you watch one review, and then another one is going to pop right up. And even if you're working around the house or doing something, if you just got my video playing in the background, that's a view for me. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to make sure at the end of your videos, you tag another video on the screen, so viewers can go to that. You want to just keep them on a continuous loop. Also, Ty taught me to put in the description box and the comment section a link to another video. That's another way to keep them watching more content. You just want them to stay on your channel. That's the goal, for them to stay on your channel. And that's one of the things that Ty taught me as well.
Man, she's giving away all the secrets, y'all. Y'all gonna have to pay for a one-on-one for some of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is my special sauce. You're just giving it all away. No, and really that's what you do when you are like on the YouTube channel that I have, my new channel with 116,000, 116 subscribers. I just started it on the 27th of December. Um, like there, I just plan to give away everything. Like when you're educating people on something, go on and just tell them everything. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
remember everything, and you can still have a higher, ticket offer down the line. Some people need a little more hand holding. Some people want you to do things for them. So if that's the kind of channel you have, don't be afraid to just tell everything, because there are some entertainment channels here. There are some, self-help channels here. There's some, educational channels. So just, yeah, whatever your value is, you got to give it all, give it all away for
Mhm.
free. And people will then, be inclined to spend money with you when you do have something to offer, whether
Yep.
it's a brand deal or an affiliate link, or a membership like we have here, whatever the thing is. Um, that's all that I got. Keisha, you got anything else before we go backstage?
No, that's it. Thank you guys so much for having me, and hopefully all the information I gave is helpful.
It is. And y'all, we have the top 10 leaderboard call scheduled for today. I did not realize that this was going to run like this. So I need to reschedule that for next week, y'all. Nisi, may I give you a call um, uh, later on? Because I want to get off of here and have this chat with Keisha. And I need to walk my dogs because I think that the rain has slowed up, and then I'll reschedule that call with y'all. But I hope that y'all got a lot of value out of this session. I believe that the value is there. I saw it. I was able to take some notes and get some things that I need. But
Mhm.
yeah, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank y'all for even, trusting me to help you with your YouTube channels. It is something that I'm very passionate about. I do believe that it is life changing once you get it going the way that you want it going. Y'all, and that's why I'm here. I wouldn't be sitting here in this membership if I didn't believe in my ability to help you get, to where you want to go with YouTube, but just in the ability of YouTube to like literally be life transforming. Like
Mhm.
I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Keisha knows. I'll tell anybody. I haven't studied anything since I was in college except for YouTube. Like this is it's so worth it, y'all. And so I just
Mhm.
want to help y'all get there. But y'all have a good week. Happy
Yep.
creating, and I'll get with Nisi, and we'll probably just literally move those calls to next Sunday, same time, 3:30 p.m. CST. But y'all have a good one, and I'll get the information from Keisha on her camera. I'll post it in the membership, and we'll be in there. And I'll do some talking in the membership today too. I want to get caught up on some of the comments. I'll
Thank
talk
you,
to you.
you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Keisha, and
Mhm.
everybody said it's a great session. They're giving you your love. It's very helpful. Thank you, Keisha. All of it. You're getting it all. So
Yes.
thank you all. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good one.
So I hope that you enjoyed that interview, and I hope that you were able to get some tips, take some notes that you can use on your own channel. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that I would really, really, really love to work with some channels that are monetized, but not really seeing the traction that they want to see in terms of getting the revenue that they want, and some businesses. That's what I would really, really love. But still, if you would like to work with me, regardless, I work with beginners in all stages. So if you would like to work with me, again, just email me and I can set up a call for us. Or you can join my membership, and I will have a link to that in the description as well as my email address. I hope that you enjoyed this interview, and I will see you on the next video. Drop in the comments anything that you learned that's useful that you can take with you. And if this interview left you with any questions, then please drop those questions as well. And I will start making content based on the questions that you all ask me, based on what you let me know that you want to see on this channel. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.